All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and we got even more breaking news that Fani Willis has been to the White House talking to Kamala Harris this entire time, and I'm pretty sure everybody been saying that Kamala Harris is behind all these indictments, because think about it, everybody that's going after Donald Trump, trying to get him locked up, trying to make him pay fines, every last one of them done been to the White House. Letitia James, Jack Smith, like I said, Nathan Wade, Fani Willis. All of these people done been to the White House. And like I said, news just broke on Fox News saying that DA Fani Willis and Kamala Harris has been behind the scenes pretty much this entire time. I think Ashley Merchant, I think she needs to subpoena Kamala Harris. I believe she knows some stuff. She has to be behind all these indictments and Trump, trying to get Trump locked up. And like I said, we definitely need to check this out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, man, please hit that like button because more people need to see this. I'm going to let the entire video play. And when the video get done, I'm going to let y'all know exactly what I think about this. Like I said, I'm going to let the whole video play. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into it. This right here is crazy that Kamala Harris and Fani Willis has been talking behind the scenes. And we already know what they've been doing, trying to get Donald Trump locked up, trying to get him took off ballots. They behind all this crap because they can't beat Donald Trump fair and square. So this is what they do. They try to cheat. They try to find other ways to take him out. But this is crazy if this right here is true. So let's go ahead and check this out, y'all. Let's go.
Actually, I first did an open records. And
all right, so they're going back and forth. That was really interesting, actually. We got to see how the original text messages between the divorce attorney for Nathan Wade and also his former law business partner was texting with this attorney for Trump co-defendant, Ashley Merchant. And so now that we get to see when they were opened, what dates they were sent, I mean, it's all out there and easy to understand. Senior correspondent Jonathan Seri is at the Georgia State Capitol in Atlanta. He's been watching, as we have been, and monitoring since the hearing began. Jonathan, what can you tell us that specifically stands out at this point to you?
Yeah, well, this Senate committee hearing is learning more details about what defense attorney Ashley Merchant says she was able to learn about the romantic relationship between District Attorney Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, her special prosecutor in the Georgia election interference case. Let's listen to some highlights.
He said that they met at a judicial conference before. He was very specific that it was before she became DA, because that was one of the things that he couldn't remember when the judicial conference was, but he knew that it was before she became DA. And he told me, you know, they met at hotels. He would go to her place. And I remember him saying, you need to find her bestie who they had a falling out. That's the person whose condo it was that they would meet at.
Ashley Merchant is an attorney representing former Trump campaign aide Mike Roman. Roman, who was a co-defendant of the former president, had filed a motion with Merchant to have DA Willis removed from the case. A judge is expected to rule on that by mid-March. Now, the committee chairman today asked Merchant whether she had reason to believe that Willis or Nathan Wade were coordinating with the Biden White House over the course of the Trump investigation. Listen.
Open records for the White House access, and we had records that Ms. Willis and the mayor of Atlanta were at meeting with the vice president.
Fani Willis and Nathan Wade have testified that they did not become romantically involved until after she hired him to help investigate the Trump case in November of 2021. But as you heard from Ashley Merchant's testimony earlier today, the defense is alleging that the romance started much earlier than that. Harris?
So, Jonathan, I just want to get this straight because I've got a former U.S. attorney coming up next. I want to make sure I have my facts straight. What was the deal with the meeting at the White House? Did you say the Vice President Kamala Harris?
Said that several people were meeting at the White House. Of course, the nature of that meeting was not expressed. It could have been some Democratic event or a social event.
Who was in it?
But the implication that they're trying to get at was that Allegedly, there may have been some coordination with this case, but they don't have any hard evidence of that at this point because the receipts, and this is something that Ashley Merchant pointed out, that Nathan Wade submitted are very vague. They just mention that he met with White House counsel or met with White House, but doesn't go into any detail as to what the meetings were.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Jonathan Seri. Great reporting.
Certainly.
Brett Tolman, former U.S. Attorney and former Senate Judiciary Committee counsel. I do want to drill down just a second on the White House meeting and how that comes into play. Is that purely politics, or as a former U.S. attorney, is it something that you look at as information? What?
Well, I will tell you, I think you're right to be asking questions about it. And here's what the public needs to understand. There's really no circumstance for the White House counsel or anyone in the White House to go anywhere near this if their goal is to make sure that it is an objective review of potential criminal activity of an opponent, of a political opponent. If, however, you are coordinating and you're wanting to take down a political opponent, that's temptation that the White House, I think, probably gave into, was to have conversations and look at the 4 different criminal cases. All of them have access, and we're learning that most of them at this point have had conversations with the White House just prior to charges being brought. That's not coincidence, that's coordination.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to hit that because that seems to be a bigger issue now that we're hearing about it in a different venue. A state Senate committee, special committee hearing. And now you get into what you just pointed out, 2 men battling it out. And it takes me back to what Donald Trump said days ago when his U.S. Supreme Court victory happened. 9-0, you can't keep his name off a ballot. No state can do that. What he said was, stop using your high power, President Biden, of the DOJ, and let's fight this out between the 2 of us. It's very interesting to put that in the context of, was Nathan Willis, was Fani Wade, was anybody, or excuse me, Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, was anybody on that prosecutorial team, particularly those 2 lovers, talking with anybody at the White House? So it is interesting. I'll continue to ask the question. All right, real quickly, your top line about what's come out today and when they met and what matters.
Well, I think there's folks that have been saying for some time now, what's the big deal? Why, so what? So they have an affair. Does that really impact the underlying criminal investigation? Here's why it does, Harrison, why it's so important. You have a legitimate inquiry into the ethics of the sitting DA. You have to know whether or not there's a compromise to those ethics, because that brings into question her prosecutorial discretion, whether she was capable of exercising it appropriately. Then when she lies about their affair, now you have a bigger issue. Now you have potential obstruction of justice. Right now, what should be happening in the next few weeks, you should have a criminal investigation opened for obstruction of justice and an ethics investigation for lawyers who are willing to lie in the courtroom.
Well. There we go right there. As y'all can see, Fani Willis is in deep trouble. We all knew this entire time that she's just been lying. Because remember, at first, she didn't want to come out and say that her and Nathan Wade was talking. She going to these churches, trying to play victim, trying to use the race card. They coming out to us because we black. They coming out to Nathan Wade because he black. They didn't come out to Nathan Wade because he black. They came out to Nathan Wade because he was the one that's involved with Fani Willis. It could have been a white man involved with Fani Willis, and he'll be getting the same treatment. It has nothing to do with color, and that's exactly what Fani Willis tried to do. Tried to pull the race card, and that right there didn't work. That's why you see Trump attorneys, they was calling that crap out. They were like, she going to church talking about God told me to do this, trying to put God in her mess. That's the reason why I say I really feel like this case is done. There's no way that she can get out of this. I mean, this Judge McAfee would have to be as corrupt as I don't know what. If he let this slide, think about all the other DAs around the world, what they're going to do if this judge decides to let Fani Willis walk. This right here shouldn't be allowed. She should be removed. She should be disqualified. And I believe it's going to happen. Hopefully it's going to happen because, like I said, I bring this up almost every video. This judge, a lot of y'all in the comment section saying y'all don't trust this judge. I totally get it. He donated to her campaign. His wife donated to her campaign. They're saying re-election is coming up, so he might not want to mess up his re-election thing. So it's a lot on the line. This judge saying he's going to take 2 weeks. So which right now I think it's been about a week now. So we shall see. I say at least hopefully by next week we might hear something. But there's just no way she can just get out of this and just walk scot-free. Terrence Bradley told Ashley Merchant everything. Told her everything. And then he got right there on that stand and just straight lied. Straight lied. And then we find out she been having these meetings with Kamala Harris. Why would she be going to the White House? Remember, she got on the stand and said she ain't been to no White House. That was a lie. Her name was on the paper. Her name was on the guest list. But she told the court she'd never been there. Nathan Wade straight lied. They asked him about, do you remember being at the cabin with Fani Willis? Took him 15, 20 seconds. He's just looking up in the air thinking of a lie. The same thing with Terrence Bradley. The same way he was waiting on the state to object everything Ashley Merchant was asking him. He was just waiting on them to object because he had no answers. He sat up there and lied. I know the judge see this. And then we got even another witness came out and said that they are willing to testify under oath that Fani Willis called Terrence Bradley, was telling him not to run his mouth, not to tell the judge anything. That's the reason why Nathan Wade tried to stop. And the judge ought to see this because the judge the one that blocked it. Nathan Wade tried to stop Terrence Bradley from testifying. He tried to put a stop to it, but the judge wouldn't let it go through. That ought to tell the judge right there that Terrence Bradley knew some stuff about Fani Willis and Nathan Wade's relationship was the reason he tried to block it. That right there ought to be enough to just say, you know what, y'all are disqualified. But like I said, this now we seeing that Fani Willis done been to the White House. Nathan Wade done been there a couple times. And who knows what they've been talking about with Kamala Harris. They could be talking about how to try to get Trump locked up. Because remember, they trying to lock Trump up. So you know Joe Biden can't beat Trump fair and square. So we already know that, you know, Fani Willis and Kamala Harris, they probably was at the White House talking about that stuff. And that's just what this guy right here just said. But they don't know the details of what was going on. They'll just throw anything up like it was a meeting or something. But they lied and said they never went. So like I said, we shall see exactly what's going to happen. But man, I'm telling you, she can't get out of this. It's just too much stuff. It's like every day something new is coming out about Fani Willis. Every single day is something new. But like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section, what do y'all think is going to happen? I feel like she's going to be disqualified only if this judge do the right thing, because he has enough evidence to get rid of her. There's enough. Phone calls, the lies, her threatening Terrence Bradley not to run his mouth. Nathan Wade got up there and lied. I mean, it's just so much stuff out there to prove. And then when Fani Willis' lawyer was talking, he was just fumbling all over the place. He'll put you to sleep. He was just putting people to sleep. Just up there fumbling over everything. You seen Fani Willis bringing him notes up there and stuff. Like he couldn't remember nothing. And Trump lawyers, Ashley Merchant, Steve Sadow, like all of them, they was flawless on that microphone. Gave the judge every reason, just like the other attorney said. He said, if you let them walk, what you think all these other DAs around the world are gonna do because you let Fani Willis walk after you see the corruption. You see what she did wrong. But like I said, we shall see. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.